Hey guys, it's Nicole Nick6 here, and today I'm going to be making a video for the story of my life. So it all started when I was just a little girl. I don't remember much about when I was littler, but I can tell you what I do remember. I remember when I was littler, always wanted a little sister. Always. I have two older brothers and no sisters. So when I was littler, I always wanted a little sister. So whenever I got the chance, then, and I didn't really understand how babies worked either. So whenever, a wish came through, such as, like whether it was a shooting star or one of those flower things, where you wish and then you blow them out. Whenever I got a wish, or for my birthday, I always did birthdays too. So whenever I got a chance to make a wish, I would always wish for a baby sister and everything we needed to take care of her. It's always what I wanted. It's all I ever wanted. Well, as you know, you can't just get a baby sister. Well, I didn't know that. So, all that I ever wanted was a baby sister. And that's all I really remember. I don't remember much about when I was littler. I know that I loved dresses. I loved dressing up. And my mom, she always, played around with me. I don't really know. But, yeah, and I remember my brother, oldest, always fighting with me. And I hated it. I thought that a brother was not what I wanted. I wanted a sister. Well, whenever I tried telling on him, it just didn't work exactly. I mean, yeah. So, I don't know. I just remember never wanting him on the planet. And now, we don't really fight anymore. We're more responsible. He has a license. So it's a little bit different. But, so, that's kind of when I was little, what happened. I got left alone a lot with my brothers. Not, alone, like, by myself. No, I was with my brothers. So I got home alone with my brothers all the time because, we're a busy family. Even now we're a busy family. I'm just allowed to be home alone by myself now that I'm older. So, yeah, that's usually when the fights happen, when we're alone. And, yeah, I remember when I was little, I always wanted a bigger room. I always wanted to be a singer, but now I'm kind of giving up on singer, and I'm okay with having a small room. And I always had the biggest imagination in the world. I remember I had this humongous imagination where I could just be in fact, I remember too, my golden retriever that we used to have. Her name was Megan. I think she died when I was 5. Well, I didn't know how dogs died. I was there when we put her down too. I was devastated. My middle brother, so not the oldest, but the one oldest to me, I don't know. Well, yeah, so the middle child. He's my brother that I usually look up to. I always did when I was younger too, because he never fought with me. He was always the solution. And so, and so we went to his room after we came back from the vet of putting her down, and I drew thousands of pictures of her. And since then, sometimes even now, I would just pretend like she's there when I'm eating breakfast. I'll be petting her and be like, oh, hey, Megan. So, because I didn't get another dog for 2 years, and I really wanted a dog. I have a big passion for dogs, even now. And they mean a lot to me. And she was blind, and she had cancer, so, yeah, it was hard for me because I was little. I didn't know. But, yeah, and I think I was about 8 when we got the dog I have now. And I drew pictures of him. I would always cry when he ran away. He wasn't a puppy though. He was in his mid ages. And yeah, so so yes, I mainly had a huge imagination. Everything I've told you. I would always play with my dolls. I don't even think I stopped playing with dolls till I was about 7 or something. Maybe that's the age. I'm not really sure. I actually think I was about 8 when I stopped playing with dolls. So dolls was always a big passion for me. Luke was sleeping. I'm sorry. So, yeah. So that's when I was little. When I was little, actually, I guess I should mention now, is when we started adding things to our house because we wanted to improve our house. And our house was very crowded. We had 6 people living in it. And it was, yeah. Well, I'm just gonna go on and say it. Sorry, distractions. So, we built the guest room downstairs so that my grandma could be in there. And my brothers were sharing a room at that time, so we wanted to build a room so that my grandma can have her own, or so that my grandma can be in a room so that my brothers can separate and not have to be in the same room because, you know, when you get older, you don't want to share a room. So we built a guest room, and I was saying guest room because it's not her room anymore. We built it for it to be her room, you know, and now it's guest room because she actually passed away when I was 8. So it was actually like 6 months after we got the dog we have now, Jessie. So now it's a guest room, and in that time, we also built my brother's room so that he didn't have to share a room, which is also downstairs. So we pretty much built the whole downstairs. We added onto our laundry room, and upstairs, my parents improved their whole room. It was tiny, and now it's huge. Like, I'm in my parents' room right now because it has a really good setup because, as you know, my room is really bad. And it has horrible background, so I thought if I made my video here, that'd be better. So I actually am in my parents' room right now. It's really big. They made their bathroom, so their bathroom is in, hold on. Sorry, phone was ringing. Onto my sword. I know, this video is already so long, I just checked. I'm so sorry, oh my gosh. So, yeah, so she passed away when I was about 8, and, it was devastating for the whole family, I've got to say, because she lived with us. When I was littler, I remember stealing $100 for her, or no, $20, I'm sorry. We would pay her $100 a month for taking care of us, and driving us around, and because she didn't have much money, so we would give money to her. So I remember I was taking the $100, and it's in by 20s, so I took one of the 20s, so she only had 80, and she knew I took it. And so to my mom, she said, I think she knew I took it, so she was like, where's the $20? I'm like, what $20? And she's like, you took $20. I'm like, no, I didn't. It must have fallen out or something. So later on that day, she told my mom, and my mom's like, you have the $20, you know, you need to give it back. And then, yeah, I gave it back to her, and she's like, no, it's okay. And she gave it to me, and I was like 7, so $20 is a lot for me. So I was like, yeah, I buy a new game. No, yeah. So, yeah. And thinking of her now is just, it's really hard. I mean, I know it's been 4 years, but it's hard sometimes to know how different it is now without her. And I lived 8 years of my life with her, and now she's gone. And so I didn't get to spend much time with her because some people, even parents, have their grandmas. Well, sort of. Yeah, so it's just, yeah. A lot of my family members I never even got to meet. My great-grandma, there's actually a picture of her right here. Right there, I guess. I don't know. Oh, which is right there. Ignore the 2 boys that were in that picture. But yeah, I never got to meet her. She died when I was like 2 months old. And I forgot to mention to you guys, when I was 1, we moved here to Oregon from Texas. So, yeah, that's also a thing from my childhood when I was 1. I don't remember it. But yeah. So, and I remember when I was little too, always wanting an animal of my own. Always. Like, oh, come on, I could take care of a dog on my own. Like, I wanted a dog all by myself. What I really wanted was a bunny. A bunny and a hamster, because my grandma, the one that passed away, she bought us 2 guinea pigs, a girl and a boy, actually. And I don't even remember the name. We named them really weird names. I think like one was, gosh, I'm trying to remember. We gave them away like 6 months later though, because they were too much of a hassle cleaning their cage and their squealing and all that stuff. And so, gosh, I think one was Georgia, but I totally don't remember the boy's name. It may have been George and Georgia. But I'm pretty sure that was the names, but I can't remember completely. So, yeah, we had to give them up because of that. My grandma's also the one that bought our Wii. Actually, it was the Christmas, so that was actually 2 months before she passed away. She gave us the Wii. She has strict rules. Do not take off the covers, ever. Always wear the strap, all these rules. You have to put the games back in the case immediately. Yeah, so she had these really strict rules that immediately my brother's like broke when she passed away, and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. She also didn't like Jesse, the dog that we have now. She always swooped him out of my room. Her room, whenever he came in there. She just did not like dogs. I think she was allergic to him, and she had a bad childhood with him. And so, yeah, she just doesn't really like dogs. So that's how that worked. Gosh, and yeah, so that's pretty much my childhood. A lot of family passing away when I was little. Animals getting given away. Yeah. So, yeah, and I remember all my teachers liked me when I was little, even though I'm kind of considered a teacher's pet. Every year my teachers are like really grateful to me, and they really enjoy having me, and they don't like it when I move on. Yeah, I have never really been I had my first crush in 2nd grade. Horrible mistake, actually. Oh gosh, was that 1st grade actually? This boy who still goes to my school, my middle school. Gosh, I had this huge crush on him, and I wrote it, I remember completely. I wrote a love note to him, put it in this little pocket thingy, we had back then, and he took it that next morning with all these people, all of his friends around him. I remember staring at it, and it had my name on it, because I didn't know about, you're supposed to put your admirer. So I put my real name, and all of his friends laughed at me. My face was as red as a tomato, and I was like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done this 1st or 2nd grade. I do not remember if it was either 1st grade, 2nd grade, or 3rd grade. One of those. Gosh. No, it was 1st grade. Got it. 1st grade or 2nd grade, because I remember it wasn't 3rd grade. So, first crush did not go well. And yeah, I just remember how much I brought my stuffed animals to school because I was scared and stuff. Yeah. My best friend was only in one of my classes, the whole elementary school. She was in my 2nd grade and my kindergarten. Yeah, I met my best friend in kindergarten. She doesn't really like being on YouTube, and so she's on YouTube twice, I think. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say for my childhood, and I'm going to make a part 2 for nowadays. So yeah, look out for that. I'm not really sure when I'm going to make that, but yeah, so this was part 1, my childhood, and maybe tomorrow, maybe today, I'll make today. And yeah, bye guys, thanks for watching. Comment below.